What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Rest in peace to an NBA legend, civil rights activist. He was on the front lines in the civil rights movements of the 1950s and 1960s. 11-time NBA champion. Won 11 rings in 13 seasons. The greatest winner in sports. Not only in the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball or Major League Hockey or Major League Soccer or boxing or golf or tennis, NASCAR, any sport that you want to name. He is the greatest winner in sports. R.I.P. to Bill Russell. Rest in paradise. Great man, great champion. Now let's talk a little boxing. I got some news in regards to the middleweight division. Historically, one of the glamour divisions in boxing. In its current state, it leaves a lot to be desired. Because when you talk about the glamour divisions of today in boxing, the middleweight division is not in the mix. I probably will put the heavyweight division, the welterweight division, and the lightweight division. But when you talk about historically, it's the heavyweight division, and then the welterweight division, then the middleweight division. And the reason that it has a falling star, for lack of a better word, the middleweight division, is because the biggest name in boxing, the face of boxing, the cash cow of boxing, at that time, widely considered the number one pound for pound fighter, Canelo Alvarez, has left the division, and he's conquered undisputed at a weight class above 168 pounds. The second biggest name in the middleweight division, Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G, has left the division. He's in preparation to take on undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez. That fight's going to take place September 17th in Las Vegas, Nevada, aka Sin City, at T-Mobile Arena. That leaves the biggest name in the division as WBC middleweight champion Jermall, Lions only Charlo. And if you're talking about the biggest fight that could be made at 160 pounds, it must involve Jermall Charlo. And the PBC, run by Al Heyman, most of their fights are shown on Showtime Boxing. Showtime Boxing. Most of their fights are shown on Showtime. Now they've got some fights that be shown on Fox. Some lower level fights shown live on Fox. Now they have a pay-per-view event coming up on Fox featuring, I would say, two of the top 5 or 6 heavyweights in the division. Andy the Destroyer Ruiz taking on Luis King Kong Ortiz. But for the most part, they have the majority of their events on Showtime. With all that being said, the PBC is having internal discussions, and they're looking to make a matchup featuring WBC middleweight champion Jermall Charlo taking on former middleweight champion Daniel Jacobs. Now these two fighters have a back history. They have a history. As Jermall Charlo, when asked about a potential matchup with Daniel Jacobs, he said that Daniel Jacobs was on some road runner shit. Daniel Jacobs did not take kindly to those comments, and when he was able to meet up with Daniel Jacobs by happenstance in the back hallways of the Barclays, he tried to G-check Jermall Charlo. He told Charlo, "I'm touching M's, and you're not. I'm a bigger name in the sport of boxing. I have a higher cachet than you have, Jermall Charlo." Charlo, in response, said, "Look, you don't like the comments that I made? Well, let's do this. Let's do this. You drop your opponent, and I drop my opponent, and we can fight next." Jermall Charlo was with all the smoke. He wasn't talking about who had the biggest bag. He was like, "Okay, you feeling some type of way about what I said about you on some road runner shit, and you don't like that, and you want to prove me wrong? You drop your opponent, I drop my opponent, and we can fight." But the problem with that was that was just a lot of talk. That sounded good. That was propaganda. at the end of the day, because Jermall Charlo is affiliated with Showtime and Daniel Jacobs was affiliated with DAZN. And as we know, at that time and currently, the PBC and Matchroom Boxing, who promoted Daniel Jacobs, are like oil and water. They're like Biggie Small and Tupac Shakur. You know, there's a big beef there. And outside of a fight involving their fighters in a mandatory position or being called by purse bid, these two entities are not going to be looking to hook up voluntarily outside of a mandatory status or a purse bid being called. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you guys. With all that being said, this is an intriguing matchup because Daniel Jacobs is not aligned with Matchroom Boxing no longer. He lost a controversial decision to John Ryder in a fight I thought he won. So he does have a big name in the sport of boxing to this day, even though he's coming off a loss. Now, he's from Brownsville. I never ran, I never will. So he's going to be able to bring a certain cachet to an event that's going to take place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And I think it would be an electric atmosphere. As you know, he fought there about 4 years ago, taking on Peter Quillen in an epic build-up to that fight. The fight did not live up to what people thought it was going into the fight, because it was a 50-50 fight going in, but Daniel Jacobs caught Peter Quillen with a shot he didn't see and knocked him out in the first round. But the electric atmosphere at that fight, in the lead up to the fight, the trash talking both New Yorkers going into that fight, and Daniel Jacobs put on a vintage performance, and it was probably his most dominant signature win of his professional career. With all that being said, he'll be looking to do the same thing to Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo is not as defensively irresponsible as Peter Quillen. He's a little bit more sound fundamentally. He dictates everything off the jab, has one of the most underrated jabs in boxing. I think the best jabber in boxing is Errol Spence Jr., but if I had to rate top 5 guys with the best jabs in boxing, Jermall Lions on the Charlo would be on that list. With all that being said, it's a great matchup. It's a history between those two guys, and hopefully the PBC makes this fight come to fruition. Now, Jermall Charlo was supposed to fight Salucky. That fight fell by the wayside due to a back injury. The back injury was fugazi. It was not a legitimate injury. I think the fight was pulled because of poor ticket sales. With all that being said, Jermall Charlo needs to be in a big fight. He seems to have lost the momentum off of the win over Sergey Derevchenko, which was a career best win. After that fight, he fought Montiel, and he's fought some opponents that leaves a lot to be desired since the Derevchenko win. So I think if he gets a win over Daniel Jacobs, that will revitalize his career. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But that's what I'm hearing, man. There's Daniel Jacobs taking on Jermall Charlo for Charlo's WBC middleweight title. The fight would be on Showtime. It would be going down at the Barclays. Charlo has a huge following in the Barclays too, as he's had several of his fights at the Barclays. So that would be a fight that I think would be, if not a sellout, very close to a sellout. And the trash talking in the lead up to that fight would be legendary, as both of these guys do not like each other. There's no love lost between these two fighters, and I think it would enhance this matchup. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard.Briscoe.3551. Follow me on Twitter, 9707 Gerard. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.